Hey, Tripsters! Garth Brooks, then and now. What happened? This is the truth about where things went wrong with Garth Brooks. In 1989, Garth Brooks released his very first album called Garth Brooks. Okay, starting there, for the first 5 years of his career, things went absolutely great. Okay, so in 89, he released his first album. In 1990, he released his second album, No Fences. In 1991, he released his third album, Rope in the Wind. And he also released his first VHS tape of his own videos. In 1992, he released his very first Christmas album, Beyond the Season. And he also released This Is Garth Brooks, which was a VHS tape of him live in concert, which had been on NBC. Now, also in 1992, he released his fourth studio album, The Chase. Everything up to this point had been great. His career was huge. In 1993, things started to go wrong. Not financially, but in the way Garth was handling his career and what he was giving to the fans. Garth, in 1993, redid his contract with Capitol Records. And in doing so, Garth changed everything. And I don't mean in the industry. I mean in his career. Okay? When he redid his contract, he got more control over his career. This was where the trouble started. Okay? Not only did he get more control over his own music, he also got almost 50% of the profits from then on of whatever his albums made. Okay, well, that's not a bad thing. An artist should get a lot of money from the albums that are sold. Okay, but Garth ended up with a 20-year contract where he had more control and he got nearly 50% of the profits from albums sold. So you would think this would be a good thing, but it's at this point that things take a turn. And by that I mean Garth started to show his true colors with the release of his fifth studio album, In Pieces. Before its release, Garth stepped up and said he was going to refuse to send his new album to any store that sold secondhand CDs. Okay. When he was explaining why, it was, his opinion that if a store sells a CD secondhand, then he gets no profit for that. And he felt like he should get a second royalty off of the sale of that second-hand album. So basically, if we have a CD that is a Garth Brooks CD, which we paid for, and he got the profit off of that, then if we decide to sell that to someone else, that's a second-hand CD, and he should get profit from that. He should get a secondary royalty. So he wants to get paid at least twice for the sale of his one CD. And this is why he did not want to send his new CD to any store that sold secondhand CDs, because he didn't get any money for that. He didn't get a second royalty off of that. Okay. He has just redone his contract in a manner that gave him a 20-year contract, more control over his music, almost 50% of the profits from every album sold, and this is huge, he was getting money that only an artist like Michael Jackson had ever gotten. This is how huge the deal was that he made when he reworked his contract. Okay, so this is where things start to turn as far as how he handles his music and how he sells his music. He was so against secondhand CDs that to make his point, not only did he threaten to withhold his new CD from all record stores that sold secondhand CDs, to make his point even more, he actually barbecued a secondhand CD, put it on a hamburger bun, and took a bite out of it like it was a hamburger. Okay? Like I said, this is where his true colors start to show. Now, in 1994, he releases The Hits. This is great. Every artist that makes any hits at all, if they've got several hits, they're going to release a greatest hits CD. This is perfect, okay? Because then you get all of the really good songs and none of the sucky ones. Okay, so the Hits was Garth Brooks' very first greatest hits CD. Now, it also came along with a CD called Zooming, which a lot of fans didn't get but have since gotten. You were supposed to get it free with the hits, which is amazing in itself. But you can still find it on places like eBay. Okay, now, here is the second step in things turning. Okay, in 1994, Garth also releases the Garth Brooks Collection, which is what? It is a CD and or cassette, depending on what you bought, that was available only through McDonald's. Now, the idea behind this is great because all the proceeds from the sales of this CD went to the Ronald McDonald House. So that is great. Okay, but what was this CD? This was a CD full of songs that he had already released on all of his previous albums. So this is kind of the first rehash of Garth Brooks' career. He just simply took songs that hadn't been released as singles and put them all on one CD and sold them through McDonald's. So it's his first rehash. Okay? So up to this point, everything Garth had released in his career had been all new material, no rehashing involved, no reselling old stuff. Okay, up until the point where he released the McDonald's CD called the Garth Brooks Collection. And that was just, rehash of stuff on previous CDs. Which is unlike a greatest hits CD in the fact that they are not hits. They were never even released from the album. So up to this point, all the stuff we had gotten from Garth was great and new and no rehash. And then he releases the McDonald's CD, which is rehash. Okay, but that's just the tip of the rehashing that he would do later. This is where it starts. Okay, and it all started when he got more control over his career and over his music. In 1995, he releases Fresh Horses. Great CD. All new material, so maybe back on the right path. In 1996, he releases his second VHS tape of his video collection. So, more videos from Garth, which, normally you could only see on CMT or GAC, because at the time, YouTube wasn't a thing. So that was literally the only place you could see it was on TV. Well, now you can see them at home because this is the second VHS tape of his videos that he's released. So this was great for the fans. In 1997, Garth Brooks releases his 7th studio album, and that is called Sevens. All new material, so that's great. But he does something different with this album that he's never done before. He releases it with 2 different covers. Now, the 2 covers are virtually identical, with one exception. one of the covers has a gold circle stamped on it that says Special First Edition. Okay, but other than that, the CDs are exactly the same. There's no new material on either one. And the only difference is one has a gold circle and the other one doesn't. That is the only difference. So this is kind of where it takes another turn onto, bad. Okay, because there was no difference in the CDs. And the only difference in the covers was the gold circle that said Limited First Edition. Now, he also does the concert in Central Park, which is legendary. It was a huge concert, and the fans loved it. And I believe overall he had, between what was in the park with him that night and what was on HBO, there was over 1 million people, maybe 2 million watching that night. So this was huge, okay? In 1998, Garth releases what is probably the biggest album of his career, which is his Double Live CD. Now, this is the thing. Garth released Double Live with 6 different covers. Okay. That was because he said he wanted the fans to have a choice of which one they wanted. So they could choose whichever album cover they wanted and buy that one. But a lot of fans were so obsessed with Garth that they bought all 6 covers. Okay? And it was also available in cassette version. So you have 6 different covers, and a lot of fans bought all 6. Okay, Garth is not dumb. Garth sees this. He saw it with the 7th CD when he released it with 2 different covers. And fans ate that up, and they bought both covers. Now he's released Double Live in 98, and fans went nuts and bought all 6 covers and the cassette version so that they could have all of Garth's material. Okay, he's not an idiot. He sees this. And he knows how to use it to sell. And since he's in more control now than he was at the beginning of his career, he knows what to do with it. Also in 98, he releases on VHS Garth Brooks Live from Central Park. Fantastic concert, and this is how I got to see it. I actually bought the VHS tape and got to watch it. So that was a hell of a concert. And also in 98, he released his very first box set. And this is the moment that the true rehashing begins. Okay? Because he takes his first 6 studio CDs, puts them in one box, and sells them to the fans. And each CD in the box set has one extra cut on it that was not in the original box set. Okay, so you're buying a box of CDs that you already own, but with 6 new songs. Okay, that's almost like buying a new CD. 6 new songs. There's usually, at this time anyway, 10 was the normal amount of songs on a CD. So he's going to give you 6 brand new songs in the box set. So basically you're buying 6 new songs for $25. So not great, but it's the first time he re-releases his first 6 CDs. Okay? Now in 99 he releases the Chris Gaines CD, which in fact was a great CD. Okay, so I'm not going to make fun of it because I freaking love that CD. But he didn't release any new Garth Brooks material, just the Chris Gaines CD. Well, he didn't release any new Garth Brooks material studio-wise. I mean, like a studio album. He did, however, release The Magic of Christmas, which is his second Christmas album. In 2000, and it only gets worse from here, guys, he releases a special 7th cover of Double Live. Okay, so he's re-releasing Double Live with no new material on it, but a special 7th cover in honor of how many it has sold. So he's re-releasing an old CD, just with a different cover. He also, in 2000, releases a song called Wild Horses. Okay, this is a song that was on his second CD called No Fences. But he changes the music a little bit and puts it back out. So he just rehashed an old song from an old album. That's it. Also in 2000, he re-releases his first 6 CDs because it is a celebration. It is the 10-year anniversary of him being in the music business. Okay, here's the thing. When he released his very first box set, he pulled all 6 of those CDs off the shelf. So the only way that you could get those CDs was if you bought the box set. Now he's going to re-release those first 6 CDs and put them back on the shelves in stores again. Okay, so he rehashed them in the box set, but now he's rehashing them by putting them back on the shelves with that extra cut. The one that was in the box set. Okay. Now in 2001, he re-releases The Magic of Christmas CD, his second Christmas CD. But he takes 3 songs off of it and puts 3 different songs on it that weren't on the original release. And he retitles it The Magic of Christmas, Call Me Claus, which was a movie that he was behind making. Okay, he really didn't have to do that. I mean, he didn't have to re-release the CD. He could have just, released those 3 songs. But instead, he re-releases his second Christmas CD in order to sell more copies. Okay, so the rehashing is getting really, really bad at this point. Okay, because at this point, he has re-released the Garth Brooks collection, which was a CD of rehashed songs from his first few albums. He has re-released Double Live with a special 7th cover. He has re-released his first 6 CDs in a box set, pulling the original 6 CDs off the shelf to make sure that the only way you can get them is to buy the box set. And then re-releasing those same 6 CDs again and putting them back on store shelves. And he's re-released Wild Horses, which was a song off of his second CD, which makes no sense whatsoever. Now in 2001, he also releases the Scarecrow CD. Thank God. Okay, a CD of all new material. So this was great, but it was the last thing that he would release for a while. Now, we wouldn't get anything new from Garth again until 2005. However, in 2005, things would take a dramatic turn. And what caused that to happen was this. Garth and Capitol Records came to a mutual agreement to end his contract. And remember, guys, he had a 20-year contract. But they came to a mutual agreement to end the contract and just let him walk away. But when he did, he got all the rights to the masters of his music. And this is when things really change. It started in '93 when he redid the contract and he got more control. Now in 2005, he has complete control. And this is where you will see the true change. Because this is when Garth is in complete control of his music and how it's put out and what he will and will not allow. He is in total, complete, 100% control. Now he makes a deal with Walmart to release a new box set, which is available exclusively through Walmart. So he releases his second box set in 2005. And it is, yes, a rehash, but with one exception. Okay, yes, it contains Sevens and Scarecrow and Double Live, which has an 8 cover. Okay, but inside this box set is a brand new CD from Garth. However, it's not anything he recorded recently. He allowed Walmart to go into the vault and pick out a bunch of songs and put them on a CD. But for us, this is great because this is all new material that we've never heard before from Garth, even though it was recorded earlier in his career. So we get a CD of all new material from Garth. But we're also getting a rehash of Sevens, Scarecrow, and Double Live. Now remember, that's the 8 cover for Double Live. Now, once this box set sells 1 million copies, they're going to re-release it, and Double Live will have a 9th special cover. And then once that box set sells 1 million, he's going to re-release it with another Double Live special cover, which makes 10 different covers. So basically, he's released, starting in 2005, the same box set 3 times, and 3 different covers, or should I say 3 more different covers of Double Live. And again, in re-releasing it 3 times, he also re-released Sevens and re-released Scarecrow those 3 times. Okay, and since the new CD called The Lost Sessions is inside this same box set, he's also re-releasing it, twice, because it was in the first time he released, the first time he releases the box set was the first time we got the CD. Well, now we're going to get it 2 more times in rehashed box sets. Now, in 2006, in February of 2006, he is going to re-release The Lost Sessions as a standalone CD. So now you can get it by itself without having to buy the box set. And this one is actually worth it. Why? Because there are 6 new songs on it that was not on the original one inside the box set. So this re-release kind of actually ends up being worth it in the long run because you're getting a crap ton of new songs. Okay, so that's not a bad thing. Now, that same year, in 2006, he releases his 3rd box set, which is called The Entertainer. Now, this is worth it for anybody who has never seen Garth in concert, either live in concert or on TV in concert, or even on VHS or DVD. Why? Because it is a box set full of Garth Brooks DVDs live in concert. So this is totally worth it. There is a DVD inside this box set that is just his videos. So this would be the second time he's re-released all of his videos, because the first VHS tape was only his first few videos. The second VHS tape was the videos that followed those first few. So that technically wasn't rehashed because you weren't getting the same thing over and over. Now he's put all those together on one DVD and he's releasing it inside this 3rd box set called The Entertainer. Okay, so that part was rehash, but the DVDs of the concerts were brand new. Wait, no, they were not. One of them was a rehash because he had already released This Is Garth Brooks on VHS. But this was a way to give it to the fans on DVD since formats were changing from VHS to DVD. So that probably wasn't a bad thing overall. Now, in 2007, yes, he re-releases his first 6 CDs again. Why? Because he calls it the remastered series. So his first 6 CDs are being released again as the remastered series. And basically all it is the same CDs, but they're supposed to have better sound quality. Hence the name, the remastered series. Now, also in 2007, he releases the Ultimate Hits. And this is basically all of his greatest hits with 3 new songs thrown in. Which is great if you didn't get the first hits CD, because now you've not only got those first few hits, you've also got all the ones that followed. And you get 3 bonus songs at the same time. He releases this with 3 different covers. I know most people think it's 2 different covers, but just bear with me for a second, okay? The first 2 covers are the most known. You have the limited first edition and then the regular version. But there was also a pink version, which was released to raise money for breast cancer research. So while that's not a bad thing, it's just another way for Garth to sell more copies to the obsessive fans who want everything the man ever releases, no matter how many times he releases it and how many different covers. Okay, so 3 different covers for the Ultimate Hits. Now, in 2013, he will release Blame It All on My Roots, the box set. Now, this is not a bad thing because it is old songs, not from Garth. He goes in the studio and he records different songs by different artists and puts his own spin on them. So it was a fairly decent box set. There's a couple of CDs in it that is actually damn good. Okay? But also inside the box set is the Ultimate Hits. So that part of the box set was simply a rehash. Now in 2014, Garth would make his comeback into the music business, which means he's going to record again, which is great. And he's going to tour again, which is great. However, in coming back, he made a huge announcement that he was finally going to go digital. And he was going to do it in his own way. He was going to create, actually I think he had already created, a thing called Ghost Tunes, which was in competition with iTunes. But this is called Ghost Tunes. And this is the only way you can get Garth Brooks' music digitally. Okay, well, at least we can get it digitally now. This is something he has never allowed in his entire career, because he says that the songwriters don't get enough money if you release it digitally, because all of the digital places out there would only sell singles and would not give him the option to sell full albums. And Garth will not sell singles, okay? Because he says the songwriters don't get enough money when you only release a single. Okay, so because nobody out there would allow him to sell full albums only, he creates his own digital version of iTunes, which is called Ghost Tunes. And yes, you can get his music digitally, but only if you buy the full albums. Now, he re-releases all 8 of his first studio albums. So again, with the first 6, and again with the next 2, he re-releases all 8 of his first studio albums. So now you can get them again on CD, and you can get them digitally for the first time. And he also, in 2014, re-releases Double Live, Okay, this is the 11th cover. And oh my God. Okay, yes, he did throw in a couple extra songs, but it's still basically, aside from those couple of songs, the same CD just with an 11th cover. And now it's called the 25th Anniversary Edition of Double Live. Now, since 2014 was his first year back officially, he releases a new album called Man Against Machine. It was a decent album. Not his best, but decent. And he starts touring again. So, great. Okay, he's coming back. We're finally going to get new material from him. Wait. This was in 2014. Now, in 2016, 2 years later, he signs a deal with Amazon to be exclusively on their site digitally. And he shuts down Ghost Tunes. So he no longer has his own digital platform. He is now exclusively through Amazon. And in doing so, he re-releases, one more time, his first 8 studio albums through Amazon, digitally and in CD form. Now, also in 2016, he releases a new album, thank God. Okay? He finally releases a new album called Gunslinger. And in this fan's honest opinion, probably the best album of his entire career to date. However, he releases it a few different ways. Okay, first, he releases the box set called The Ultimate Collection. Now, in this box set is basically different songs from different albums throughout his career, just in different CDs in different orders. Okay, so you're basically buying the same songs again. However, he puts the new album inside the box set. And this box set is the only way you can get the limited first edition of his new album, Gunslinger. So if you want the limited first edition cover, you have to buy the box set because that's the only way to get it. Now, 2 weeks later, he releases the CD again as a standalone version and the regular cover. Okay. Now, around that same time, he also releases a new Christmas album with wife Trisha Yearwood. Now, he releases it with the box set. If you buy them both, you get a discount. Okay. And he releases it as a standalone version Christmas album. However, he has a deal exclusively through Walmart where they packaged the new CD Gunslinger and the Christmas album together in one small, what they call box set. So he's just released the album inside a box set as a standalone version and with the Christmas album. So there are 3 different releases of this same album and he's just released it? How many times are we going to get it in the future? Now, there is a problem with the box set. And I don't know if Garth just went cheap, or if he just didn't care, or if he was completely unaware of the situation. But fans that were buying this box set were taking it home, opening it, and finding broken CDs inside. So you're buying a box set that has broke CDs in it. Okay. And if they weren't broken, they were fit so tight inside these cases that in just trying to get one out of the case, it would snap. So now you've got broke CDs. Okay, this is a problem. And it's a problem that Garth never talked about. He never said he was sorry to the fans. He never offered to fix the problem. Nothing. Now, in 2017, he releases his first anthology, which is a book about the beginning first 5 years of his career, which was, for the fans, probably the best 5 years of his career because there was no rehashing involved. And yes, there are CDs inside the anthology. And it's everything from songs that he never released that kind of sucked, and it's demo versions of songs he did release. Some sound completely different than what we ended up with when we bought the regular CDs. Now, also in 2017, he re-releases The Chase and In Pieces for the 25th anniversary celebration of those two albums being 25 years old. So here we go again with the re-releasing and the rehashing. Now in 2018, he releases a triple live album. Yes, 3 CDs of live music. However, if you bought the double live album, you got 25 songs live in concert. 2 CDs full of music. Triple live was 3 CDs of 25 songs. So you're getting the same amount of songs, just spread out over 3 CDs instead of 2. Okay, now when he originally released it, he released what is known as a fan mix version, and you could download it free. So, it's not costing you anything. You could download it free through Ticketmaster. And then, shortly after that, he releases it again for free through Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and download it for free. Okay, but also in 2018, he releases Anthology 3. And no, I did not skip one. We never got the Anthology Part 2. He jumped from 1 straight to 3 because it was all about the live show. Now, inside this Anthology 3 live, you got, first of all, the book, but you also got CDs inside. Now, what CDs did you get? You got double live, which you already have 11 copies of. 11 copies of. And you got triple live, which you already have 2 copies of. And there's no difference in the one in the book and the one you downloaded for free. But to get this one on CD, you actually have to buy the book. Okay, so again, with the rehash of double live, and again, with the rehash of triple live. Now, in 2019, Garth comes up with the biggest deal for his fans that he can think of, which is Garth Brooks on vinyl, which is totally false advertisement because right on it, it says, for the first time on vinyl. The first 5 albums of his career were released on vinyl, okay? But the Legacy Collection is what he calls this. Okay? So, inside the Legacy Collection, you are getting a rehash of No Fences, The Chase, In Pieces, Fresh Horses, and Triple Live. Now, you're getting them all on vinyl, but you're also getting them all on CD. Okay, so he rehashed inside of a rehash. That's an accomplishment. Okay? Now, the only difference in the triple live inside this Legacy Collection and the one he released before 3 times, it has 1 extra song. 1. So you're going to go buy the Legacy Collection and get 5 albums you already have and get 1 new song for $45 because there's 3 different versions. You get one for $45, another one for $45, and the third one for $75. Okay, so he just rehashed everything that he had rehashed before. He is like the rehash king. Okay, and to make matters worse, the fans that are getting these legacy collections are getting them, and they have ripped covers. Some of the albums are actually warped, which is insane. And at this point, at the point of me making this video, Garth has not addressed this at all. It's like he doesn't care. Okay, these covers that are ripped are the triple live covers. Okay, well, the triple live is supposed to be the biggest deal about the box set, because there's 6 different covers in all that you're supposed to collect. Well, if the covers are ripped, there's nothing special about it. And the fact that you're getting warped albums in a brand new box set is insane. You're just throwing away your money on something that you actually already have, and he's just rehashing again. Now, in case you haven't caught on to this, all of this started in 1993 when he redid his contract with Capitol Records. That's where his true colors started to show. Okay, and then in 2005, when he got complete control of all of his music, everything went all to hell, because that's almost all he has done is rehash his old material. He just keeps reselling the same material. And if you pay close attention, you'll realize fairly quickly that even though he's had 7 albums go diamond, the ones inside the box set, pay close attention. You have No Fences, which has gone double diamond. And then you have The Chase, In Pieces, and Fresh Horses, which haven't gone diamond at all. However, with enough sales of this box set, the No Fences album will go triple diamond. And The Chase, In Pieces, and Fresh Horses are close enough to going diamond that enough sales of this legacy collection will put it over the top, and those 3 will go diamond as well. Okay, it's like he's only doing it for the numbers. I'm guessing also for the money, because, you know, he gets all the money for the album sales. But at the same time, he's doing it for the numbers so that pretty much all of his albums, at least from the first part of his career, will go diamond. He's already the biggest selling solo artist in history. He has more diamond albums than any artist ever in history. But that's not enough. He keeps reselling all of his stuff in order to make them all go diamond. Okay? And this started, and I mean it went full blown, in 2005 when he got complete control of his music. And he's done almost nothing but rehash ever since then. If you think about it, if you go back over everything he's released, how many times has he released or re-released his first 6 albums? Okay, and this is just another example of that. The only exception to this is Triple Live, which is basically just another version of Double Live, but instead of 2 CDs, you're getting the songs spread out over 3 CDs. This happened when he got complete control. It started in 93. We saw glimmers of it when he got more control, when he was still with Capitol Records. But once he got, in 2005, complete control of his music, that is 95% of what the man has done, is just resell old material. Nobody needs to re-release those things that many times. It's insane. It's like the more control he got over his music, the more power he got, the worse he got with re-releasing. That's what went wrong in Garth Brooks' career. What went wrong was when he got control. The more control he got, the worse he got about re-releasing old material. Okay? He has released his first 6 albums more than he's put out new albums. I mean, think about it. Do the math. The more control the man has, the worse it gets. He's got an album right now, brand new, never before heard, ready to release. But he chose not to release that in order to re-release the old material again, in order for everything that he's got from the first part of his career to go diamond, double diamond, or triple diamond. I mean, at this point, it is seriously looking like that is all he cares about, is the numbers. I started out as one of the biggest Garth Brooks fans in the world. And everything up to this point in his career, I have bought it, or someone has given it to me as a gift, birthday, Christmas, whatever, because they knew I was that into his music. So I have all of his stuff up to this box set. And when I started looking at everything the way I have, like I've talked about in this video, and seeing how many times he's done it, when it started to happen, and I realized, oh my God, this is all he seems to care about. That is when I went, whoa, no, put on the brakes. Okay, he's going to choose to make a conscious choice to hold back new music that is ready to go in order to re-release stuff we've already got 6, 7, maybe 8 times, depending on which album you're talking about. There's just no sense in it. And the fact that he says right on the box, on vinyl for the first time, that's a lie. That in itself is a lie. His first 5 albums were originally released on vinyl and cassette. Why? Because it was before CDs. It was before CDs started selling. So a lot of people already have these things on vinyl. But Garth doesn't care. And the fact that these people are buying these box sets and getting triple live covers that are torn and ripped, and they're getting albums that are warped, and he's not even addressing this problem, that kind of shows you how much he doesn't really care. Okay, as long as they sell, that's all he cares about, because that's building up his numbers. And if you think I'm kidding, let me point one more thing out to you. The only album in his entire career, like regular studio album, that he has never re-released is Man Against Machine. Now think about it. Why is that? Because Man Against Machine was released through RCA. Okay, I know that shouldn't really make a difference, right? But it does, and this is why. Because RCA still has partial control over that album and how it can be released and how it can be sold. All the other albums that he continually re-releases, he has full 100% control of. But RCA is who he was signed with when he released Man Against Machine. And that's the one album he's never re-released to this point, because he doesn't have full control yet. And I have to say that I honestly believe once he has full 100% control, because those contracts that they sign with record companies, those record companies have so much control for a certain amount of time, usually 5, 6, 7 years, something, I don't know. Anyway, for a few years at least. So Garth doesn't have full control. And I honestly believe, once he has 100% control of that album, that is another one that will be re-released over and over and over, just like all of his others. The thing that went wrong in Garth Brooks' career, in the way he sells his music and what he sells to his fans was control. Once he got full 100% control of his music, that is all the man has done for 95% of the rest of his career, is just re-release the same stuff. The more control he has, the worse he gets. That is the problem. Him having full control is the problem. And if he truly cared, like he wants the fans to believe he does, he would have addressed the situation with the Ultimate Collection box set when fans were getting broken CDs. And he would address the current situation with the Legacy Collection, where fans are getting warped albums, broke albums, torn covers. But he has not said a word about either the box set of the Ultimate Collection or this new Legacy Collection. As long as he sells them, that's all he cares about. Because all he cares about is the numbers. The man is going to try to make sure every album he has goes diamond or more. I used to be the biggest Garth Brooks fan that you would probably ever meet. And now I'm nothing more than disappointed every time he releases something. Because all he does is release it, and then re-release it, and then re-release it, and so on and so forth. He is the rehash king in any genre of music, because that's all he does is rehash his old stuff. Yes, the fans love his old stuff. I love his old stuff. But he's a great artist with great potential and could keep doing the same thing with his music as he did in the first half of his career, if he would actually release new material. But I don't know if he's afraid he can't do what he did before, or if he has just completely lost the drive and the passion for the music and just no longer cares. And it's a shame, because a lot of people consider him a legend, and in a sense I guess he is, but he is tarnishing his own legendary status with all of the rehashing, when he could be making new material with the same drive and the same passion that he had before, and making his career even bigger. But he's made so much money that the passion and the fire is gone. When he came into the business, he had a passion like no other artist you'd ever seen. He had a drive to do music like no other artist you'd ever seen. But once he made all of that money from those first 5 albums, he lost the passion. He lost the drive. And now he just doesn't care like he did before. And that is the truth about what went wrong with Garth's career. That is the difference between Garth back then when he first came out and Garth now. Started in 93 when he got partial control, and then it went full blown in 2005 when he got complete control of his own music. Garth used to be the best. Now he's just not. He's still a great entertainer. When it comes to his live shows, his concerts, he's still probably the best you'll ever see live. But he just lost the passion when it comes to recording new music. And all he does is rehash his old material. There's going to be more box sets to come. And it's probably going to be the albums that he didn't release in this box set called Legacy. And he's going to keep doing it in order to make all of his stuff go diamond, or double diamond, or triple diamond. And he's going to keep doing it because the fans keep buying it. No matter what it is, no matter how many times he releases it, the fans continue to buy it. And as long as they continue to buy it, he's going to continue to re-release it. It's insane. I mean, if he had reached legendary status before in the first half of his career, can you imagine for 1 second how great he could be if he did this half of his career like he did the first half, before he got complete control? I mean, if the numbers that he raised were unheard of then, imagine what they would be now if he kept putting out new material like he did back then, instead of rehashing his old stuff. He's lost his drive, he's lost his fire, he's lost his passion. Now all he cares about is the money and the sales numbers. That's it. That's why he doesn't release singles, because the only way to get his music is to buy full albums, and the reason for that is because that's going to sell more albums and jack up the numbers of album sales so that it goes diamond faster. And that's why he does it. He can say it's about the songwriters all he wants to, but every songwriter that's ever had a song on any album Garth has ever recorded has probably gotten rich 10 years ago when he reached legendary status. It's insane. He has lost what it takes to be in this business. And for a man that has a BS degree in advertising, he really sucks. Because if he really wanted the advertising to work, he'd be putting out new material. Because that's what the fans want. They're waiting for something new to come out, because they love Garth's music that much. But honestly, this is one fan that is tired of buying old material over and over. I want the new stuff, and until he releases new, I'm not buying anything else. He's rehashed the old stuff enough. And if you've made it to this part of the video, you already know why. And it's all about control. But guys, that is my opinion. And I just thought I would share that with you. Let me know your thoughts. That is going to do it for now. This is a very disappointed Garth Brooks fan. And this is Icepets Queen. And I am tripping out.